Hey, it's Shanna. So I saw Backrooms last night on Sunday, the 31st of May. It just released on what, Friday, I think. Um, I saw it on date day with my honey, so I got his opinion as well. Um, Now I want to preface this video by saying that before this movie was announced, did not know anything about the Backrooms. So I know some people are upset that it didn't turn out the way the web series does, or something like that. There weren't enough monsters, or the monsters were different, or I've seen a lot of complaints. But those don't affect me because that concept was never really a thing with me. So that's not really something that I'm going to be addressing in this video. So if you are a big fan of that kind of thing, just go into it knowing that people who are knowledgeable about that kind of thing are saying it's not that. Um, so do with that. That's just the information I have to share.
Found something in the store.
Okay. What did you find?
The place. I found a place.
I did enjoy the movie. It had a lot of creepy moments. It had a lot of really tense build up. Um, there was there were quite a few very claustrophobic scenes, and I'm not even claustrophobic, but that one of them had me. There are a couple of jump scares if you're not into that, and they're good ones. I haven't been gotten by a jump scare in a long time, but I got twice, two times. It's been a long time. So, um, Backrooms was released, Sunday or Friday, 2026. Yesterday I said it was 2025. Um, Directed and co-scored by Kane Parsons, who this is his first directorial debut. Um, it is based on Parsons' web series and by the Backrooms creepypasta, which I have not read. Maybe I should read it. There's a link to it right there on the wiki. I don't know. What do you think? I think I'm gonna. Anyway, fun fact, it says he's now the youngest filmmaker to reach #1 at the box office. So good for him. All right. So, Backrooms. Uh it takes place in 1989, 1990. Um in a furniture store that has a basement that has like rooms in the back. It is very creepy. The atmosphere in this movie is fantastic. Uh, you feel like you're getting lost as they're running through, because, like, how did we get here? There's that episode of Rick and Morty where they're interdimensional cable. I think it's the first one when Jerry's in the hospital and they're doing the heart transplant on the alien dude. You know the one I'm talking about. And there's that girl who's got like the weird thing on her face and she's holding a cup of coffee, and then they're watching interdimensional cable. She's gone, and then she's on the TV screen and she's like standing on a light post, and the show is how did they get there? And then they're just tripping like, how did they get there? How did she get there? How did she get, like, yeah, the scene. So yeah, that's the Backrooms. How did I get here? Like that was stupid. I'm sorry. Um, I'm gonna give it a solid 7. I think the ending left some things to be desired. We do get to see the monster, so that's good. Um, Sucks when you don't. The soundtrack to this was phenomenal. It was just fantastic. I think the sound did a lot more for this movie than sound does in some other movies. Um, yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. It's playing in theaters right now. You can go see it. Um, Seeing it on a big screen, I think, is a better idea than waiting for it to come out, just because I think seeing it on the bigger screen in the dark theater with the huge sound, I felt some type of way watching this movie. It gave it a feeling that I don't think I'm going to get when I watch it at home. You know what I'm saying? Go watch it. I'm going to talk about it now in here. And so pause this and then come back and watch it after you've seen Backrooms. Or if you don't care about spoilers, then it's up to you. But this is your official warning. My finger cramped while I was doing that. I don't usually use my left hand, and that was surprisingly difficult to do. All right, so we meet Clark and we meet Mary first. Well, actually, we meet the dude in the back rooms first who gets eaten by the monster. But we don't get to see the monster yet. So the back rooms, again, I didn't know anything about the back rooms going into it. When it came out, my partner explained what the back rooms kind of was, and he, didn't go into major detail, and I didn't actually look into it any further like I could have, but I didn't want to. I don't know. Um, I'm probably going to end up diving into that rabbit hole now, though, because I'm me and that's what I do. So, Clark. Clark is, I don't know, cuz at first he seems like just this really sad guy. Like he's just sad, he's pitiful. You want to feel bad for him. But as the movie goes on, you want to feel less and less bad for him. And I think it's I mean it kind of goes with his sanity and yeah, I don't know, man. So he's going to therapy though. So good for him. He finds the back rooms relatively quickly. He, you know, in the beginning, he sees the electrician who's looking at the breaker box and all this other shit, and it's weird. And it makes sense that no one's ever seen the back rooms before, but you get the impression that this is a relatively new addition because he's just now calling this electrician from the electric company, maybe? Because, yeah, he's got the high electric bill and regularly flickering lights. So either the backrooms have always been there, he just never noticed because he was never in the basement with the lights off. And, now he's only in there. He noticed the flickering lights because the flickering lights should have been happening this whole time, then, however long he's owned this store. And you get the impression that he's owned the store for a very long time. Um, so the back rooms have been drawing that power. So he's just now getting this high electric bill. So did the backrooms just start forming there when he started living there? Because the fact that it's a new high bill, because I assume the high bill is it's keeping the lights on in the backrooms, and is it infinite? It would be infinite, right? I don't know. If it's he says it's everything that ever was. So, but just like copied and copied and copied and copied and copied forever and ever. Like, why would such a space exist? There's a moth in here. Um, where was I? So, he finds it pretty quick into the movie. He goes through the wall, which it was kind of funny that he fell through the wall. Like, he knew he was going to fall through the wall, and that was just a silly moment, whatever. So, we see Clark on camera, so we know someone is watching the back rooms. Now, we also know it's a human, but we know that the creature in the back rooms is not human based on its size and shape and the shape of its head and things like that. So we know that's not human. We know this guy is human. Obviously, if he's just sitting there watching this place that has this evil, scary thing in it, it means he must be a bad guy, right? That's the impression that I got. And that's kind of important later at the end when he's talking to Mary because, he is like a bad guy to me. And like, I guess, I mean, maybe it's maybe it's just me. But they seem like government scientists and I really don't trust the government. So he's like doubly untrustworthy and then he's like I don't know. He's weird. He gives me vibes. Like what is going to happen to Mary, dude? I still need to know. I need to know what's going to happen to her. Cuz we see her in the back rooms at the end. We see the back rooms Mary. Okay. So he tells Mary about the back rooms and he's got this blueprint. So we know now that some time has passed. I don't know if it's the week between their appointments or what, but some time has passed and now we're seeing him at the beginning of this spiral. And then she kind of shoves him into the spiral by not believing him and asking him if he's still drinking. Are you drunk right now? Um he got really offended about that and then he was like you're gonna apologize when I prove it, and so then he's got to go get the camera and take Kat and Bobby take Kat and Bobby down into the back rooms. Now I want to talk about the the effects and the sets. Like my partner said that they were all physical sets, and that's fucking dope. That's cool. That's really cool. Um, the effects were amazing. Like when I saw Cat go through the wall, like it looked so cool. Like the wall was just like wall soup right there, and she just like smoothed out of it like a Dove commercial, splashing the water on your face. Um, and then shit goes down. So at this point now, we see that the entry room to the back rooms, is it always the same entry room? Like that's the same spot. So are rooms just getting added on, like one at a time? Like what's obviously this is a space where time and space doesn't exist because obviously, like the universe is expanding into what? Into nothing. Um or everything or who knows. Um it just is. And so like that's kind of this situation because if it's outside of the universe, it's outside of space and time. The universe, the laws of the universe can only apply to the universe. So the universe expanding, the backrooms expanding, it cannot be limited by space and time. And ugh. Then we get to that corridor that gave me claustrophobia. And I don't have claustrophobia, never had an issue with it. But that shit had me like, ooh, I wouldn't want to do that. And I think part of it is probably I've been watching a lot of content about like cavers and divers who decide to go down like narrow passageways and like wedge themselves in and then die like days or even weeks later because they just can't get them out. And it happens a lot more than it should. So I think that absorbing all of that content lately kind of had me in a prime position to be kind of icked out by him squeezing into an ever smaller spot that like in the theater it really did not look like that door was going to be big enough for him to fit through. Like it looked too small. And this movie just it did the thing it was trying to do. Like it did what it was set to do. I thought it was well done for what it was. Um that's kind of what my partner said too. He said that it's exactly what he expected was his feedback. Um so Bobby gets down to the laundry room and so there's like the cardboard cutout faces, which I did not realize was a cardboard cutout face at first, and it really creeped me out. Um, and I just talked about this last week, where I said in my video on underwater that I get freaked out by the thought of being pulled somewhere and not able to control where I'm going. So, like in underwater, when she's tied to do it and she gets pulled, or in gravity, when she's like flipping around and shit, and like you can't control where you're going, you have no control. I am very into needing control in my life. So, it's really important for me that I have as much control as I can, you know? I have to be, otherwise I get anxiety. So, those moments like where you're getting pulled and he can't control where he's going and obviously, he's getting pulled back down the corridor, but that creeped me out too. Like I literally just made a video about it. Like I just think it's funny timing. Um so then Clark and Kat get knocked down the corridor too, and the camera, and he picks up the camera, and then they go, and so Kat runs off, and Clark goes and runs away because the door opens, so he's getting chased by the creature, and he knows he's getting chased by the creature, so he's running away, running away, running away, and then he finds the Christmas tree part was creepy as fuck. Like that part got to me. Like when oh ooh, that was creepy. This movie was well done. It had me in a lot of places. It had really, really good moments, and it had a lot of them. Um, so he goes and he's in this room now, and it's the part where Kat is like talking to him, and she's like saying she's on the other side of glass, but we can't actually see any glass. And you see other back rooms that have windows that look into other rooms. So, I mean, it could just be a two-way wall, I guess. I don't know. It could, like, if you have like a crosshatch design or something on the other side of the wallpaper, like I could see it being semi-transparent where she'd be able to at least see shapes, and so like she see the shape of a man and she would assume that it was him. I guess she might not assume it was him because she does know there's something else down there because something else killed Bobby. But anyway, that thing picks up the motherfucking camera and it was over, dude. That shit creeped me out. Like, oh, it was so tall. Ooh. My sister, when we were kids, she used to pick up sticks that had like multiple branches. Not branches, twigs, twigs because they're sticks, not branches. Um, but like it had to have at least four. And then she'd like take it and go like this and like rub it on my arm. And she'd say, skinny fingers. And that's what like super tall things always remind me of is something that would have fingers like that. And that's what it creeped me out. And so whenever I see like Slender Man or like just something tall and skinny, that gives me an instant like um primal like eh, you know? Because she used to do that. It creeped me out. We don't know how long later that Mary goes to the store. We know it's been a while because the mail on the ground. She finds the back rooms again relatively quickly. Obviously, it's a lot easier for her because the door's taped out. And then she goes down there, and Clark finds her, and he is nuts. He's just been down in the back rooms, apparently made friends with his backrooms copy monster dude. So we hear it coming, and then bro just says like, "Oh, don't worry, it's me." That shit was a solid line. Oh, I don't think I got it. Nope. Um, so he chokes her out, takes her to dinner. Did they show him eating that? I don't remember. I don't even want to know what that would taste like. It looked like it would taste like styrofoam, but like wet. Wet styrofoam doesn't look appetizing at all, especially when you just rip it out of some dude's friggin' stomach. Icky. Their faces were creepy. Those were really, really well done. Um, when Mary finally calls Clark out, that's what it takes to snap him out of his mental breakdown or whatever the fuck is going on. And like she gives him permission to exist in this place that is outside of time and space. Like, he won't have any responsibilities here. He can just exist. And she gives him permission to do that. And that's really important because then the monster comes and he's like, "Oh no, she's a friend. She's just leaving. She told me it's okay to be here." And now all of a sudden that's a motherfucking problem. And oh, I saw a Reddit comment about it. Okay, I found the comment. So, this Reddit comment really summed up kind of my thoughts on what this was. It's on the r/movies subreddit on the general discussion board post for Backrooms. So, this guy says, it's a great commentary on the very theme of liminality, being stuck in a transitory state with no destination. Mary spends the movie trying to get people to start their journeys through her therapy and book, but she has no idea how to give them or herself a destination. The backrooms are this idea manifest, all beginning and end removed from all context. Lacking a real destination, Clark embraces the idea of being on the journey and moving in. When Mary reframes the place to be his destination, gives him permission to stop moving, the backrooms immediately betrays him. That's the pirate sultan dude killing him, like, immediately. So I thought that was a really apt summary on the kind of theme in there. And it really kind of helped me to understand exactly why Clark was killed by Monster Clark. So Mary makes it out to the backrooms version of the store, I guess. And you got the chase and you got the jump scare that really got me. There's the one in the beginning with the dude in the hazmat gear, the very like the opening scene guy, and then the part where she's on the floor and he's like crawling over. That part got me too. And she fights him off. I don't think she killed it. Did she kill it? I don't know. Because she No, she didn't, because it was still chasing her and she was like going through the wall to escape, and then that's when she ran into the scientists. Um, so then she goes into an interrogation room where she meets Phil, the guy who was watching dude on the camera. So their sole existence is to research and map the back rooms and try to understand it. And then she repeats Clark's description of it being a bad copy of reality. And I think the metaphor they used was telling someone who's never seen a dog what a dog looks like and then asking them to draw it. And that's what it is. So it's just a bad copy. It's a copy of a copy of a copy. Um, and then Mary asks if she is going to be allowed to leave. And he just says, "That's not up to me." And then we see Mary sitting in an interrogation room in the back rooms and like her memories as rooms. And that's it. So it wasn't really a satisfying ending for me. I feel like I could have done with a little bit more information on what's going to happen to Mary. Like, is she going to make it? Is she going to be a scientist for these guys now? I mean, maybe they need some therapy. Could be a thing. Who knows? Backrooms is doing pretty okay for itself. It's made quite a bit of money so far. It's number one, I guess. And horror movies don't usually do all that great, but this one is doing good. Um, 7.1 stars on IMDb. I did also give it a 7 out of 10. Um, 74% audience ratings on Rotten Tomatoes and 89% from critics. So, I mean, critics, ugh. It's a good movie. It's worth watching. And I'll probably watch it again in the future just to see what I missed because I like to see what I missed in movies. I'm a rewatcher. I like to rewatch movies. It gives me comfort to know what's going to happen. Anyway, I liked it. It was decent. It was worth watching. The monster was creepy as fuck. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that one. Time isn't real. But thank you for spending your time watching me. And don't forget that Shanna is watching.
Look, I know how this sounds, but you gotta understand, it's massive in there.